Hi all, it's Matchbook Horse Racing podcast time, building up to more Group 1 action this weekend with the Jubbont Middle Park, Jubbont Cheveley Park. We've got the Cambridgeshire as well. Tell you what we have got at Newmarket is testing ground. So we're doing this 10 a.m-ish on Friday morning ahead of day 2. There are 32 mil overnight at Newmarket if you're playing. It's going to rain there up until the middle of the day. It's going to be all right tomorrow. Which is good because I'm going to be there. But, I mean, I don't know what ground we're going to be faced with. I think just really testing. So definitely bear that in mind. We'll be looking at the Beresford at the Curragh as well, whether there's going to be easy ground there. And a couple of races from Haydock too. Micheál, Deasy and Donn McClean are alongside to preview the pick of the racing this weekend. Basically, the ITV card. We'll do Newmarket first, then we'll do the Curragh race, and then we'll finish up at Haydock. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow wherever you're listening or however you are watching, because it's the best no-cost way of supporting this podcast. And we love you to support this podcast. Okay, the Cambridgeshire, first of all, that's where we're going to start. Big prices going up here. I am playing high-ish draws because I think you wanted to be over towards the rail, the stand-side rail on the first day anyway. But I'll get there. First of all, Donn McClean come in with a massive price, 41.0.
Yeah, look, it's a hell of a race, this Tom, and as you say, the ground is going to be a massive factor. Obviously, the draw is a factor too. As you said yesterday, they seem to be coming towards the near side, which is not unusual in the autumn meetings at Newmarket. And this race as well, the Cambridgeshire. I think the last 8 winners were all drawn 21 or higher. In fact, 2 of them were drawn exactly and sold 21, which we'll come on to that in a second. But look, this song is for you. That he's been the gamble of the race all week, and that's understandable. Emmett Mullins, Colin Keane, the Me family, and he was good the last day at the Curragh. He stayed on well. He quickened up nicely. Colin Keane rode him that day. He's on again today. He got a £4 penalty for that. He was actually raised by £6, which I thought was fairly lenient. Actually, he was good in winning a competitive race, but he's well in anyway, and he's got the potential for more. And Emmett Mullins, I think he said during the week that he would come on a fair bit from that. He'd run well at Galway, which then in the Colin Quinn Mile, and that brings in the horses that finished the random at Galway, including Curragh and Norwalk Havoc, so they come into the reckoning as well. I think Ian Jardine could have a say here. I thought Mr. King was interesting. He ran well at Ayr the last day when he came from a fairway back in that handicap that Aragon Castle won and stayed on well. He was with Ger Lyons here, and he won an apprentice handicap on his final run for Ger Lyons, the half of the Thunder Kiss, who won a Noblesse Stakes and a Bluebell Stakes. And I thought he stayed on well the last day over a mile. He's got form over further as well. So I think he's a player in the race, but I think Ian Jardine's other horse, actually, Paddy the Squire, is more interesting that Andrew Mullen rides him. And he's a lightly raced horse. He won on soft ground at Ayr last summer over 10 furlongs. And as we know, the Cambridgeshire, it's over 9 and they go fast. They start racing from early. So form over 10 furlongs is an asset to bring into the race. He's only run twice this season so far, Paddy the Squire. He was only just beaten at Hamilton, again on soft ground on his debut this season. And then he went to Chester last time, and he finished third in the end, but he did well in a race that he just didn't have the run of the race. It was a sedate pace. He was drawn wide. He was wide most of the way. He was a bit free, a bit keen, and he still stayed on to get to within less than 2 lengths of the winner, stress-free. So that was only his 8th ever run. He's won off a mark of 80. He's run well off a mark of 85. He's off a mark of 87 now. He's only run 8 times. I think he can come forward from that. He's got 4 on soft ground. He stays further than this nine furlong trip, which is an asset, and he's got a nice high draw in exactly to hole 21 as it happens. So yeah, I think he's going to be a player in the race, and I think he's well overpriced.
Yeah, 41.0 is the biggest price we're putting up, although you're not a mile behind. You are with DC Theory of Everything at 21.0, who ground should be okay, and doing well for this yard.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best draw, but I think, like as we said, it's going to be heavy ground. And I was keeping that in mind for something that would run on soft and or heavy. So this horse was he's with David O'Mara, who's just unbelievable at these handicaps. He was backed into favour for the handicap over this course and distance on the day of the 2,000 guineas. Finished 5th, but he could have had a mid-season break, and he has won twice since he had his little wind surgery and a little break, and he's won twice since, both times on soft ground. The first time was over a mile one at Hamilton, and he won at Ascot the last day, beating a wall and Benetton at Feet Lane, who beat him at the start of the season. Look, this is incredibly tough. I wouldn't advise anyone to place a bet probably until just before the race tomorrow, because there could be a lot of horses pulled out maybe not out of this race, but you would definitely want something that'll handle soft ground, heavy ground. I think this horse will. And he's 21.0, so I'd have him win place.
At the moment, 34 in there with Penzance being taken out. So the same amount of runners as in a Grand National. But the Grand National has that profile of being harder to find the winner of. I'd say this is harder. I am going to stick up two horses. One is Majestic, who won it a couple of years ago, ran fourth his side last year, ran really well, off a similar sort of mark. I don't think the ground's going to be ideal, but what is in his favour is we know he likes the track. You're going to get a good run for your money. Jack Shannon's had largely a pretty good consistent season, and 36 I think is where you want to be. There is a lot of pace low. Maybe racing over towards the far side rail will be okay. They haven't explored it yet, but I just, in my head, this meeting, and particularly more and more in recent years, you've wanted to be middle to stand side and racing up near towards that rail. And I think, particularly going into the race, that is what will be in the riders' minds, and there'll be a sort of a conscious bias to come over this side anyway. So it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you like. And I think that's what they'll do. So Majestic is well drawn. The ground's a slight concern. It's a big price. Was 34.0. And the other one I'm sticking up is, I thought from the Galway race, won by Mexicali Rose, the best off who's reopposing. So you've got Norwalk Havoc, This Song Is For You, Cordor reopposing, and I just thought he did best of those off the pace. Now, pace obviously holds up pretty well at Newmarket, but this is a massive field with loads of pace on. He has one on Yielding to Soft. I don't know whether heavy's going to suit per se. He's got good form on quick ground as well. Ryan Moore for Dermot, well drawn high, and he's 17.0. So I thought he was well worth having on side as well, particularly given the price of the other Irish runners who came out of that race. All right, Cordor, Majestic, Paddy the Squire, Theory of Everything. Shortest price 17.0, biggest price 41.0. It'd be nice if one of those were to win. Now back to that's the feature handicap. Back to the first of the group races, Group 1 races, which is the Cheveley Park. This is the 225. I'm very much sitting this out. Babouche is 2.88, Lake Victoria is 3.75, and you like one each. Donn, you first of all.
Yeah, I like Babouche, Tom. I just think like Ger Lyons has his 2-year-old fillies this year are really good, and she seems to be at the top of the whole list. And I suppose testament to that fact was the fact that he allowed her to take her chance in the Phoenix Stakes against the Colts. That was after winning her first two races. She won her maiden well. She won the Anglesey Stakes next time, beat Camille Pissarro, and then last time she went to the Phoenix Stakes and she won well. She beat Whistle Jacket, which was going to tie into the Middle Park. Obviously, she's the first filly to win the Phoenix Stakes since La Colina, who went on and won a matron stakes for Kevin Prendergast. Whistle Jacket, who was behind her the last day, he went on and won the Prix Morny. And yeah, I just think she could be an exceptional filly. She's been, all her races have been over 6 furlongs or thereabouts. She doesn't need to go up and trip. She could maybe go up and trip next season. She's a half sister to Zarinsk, who won the Minstrel Stakes over 7 furlongs. And look, Lake Victoria is a big player, and Micheál, I'm sure we'll talk about her now. And she's a big danger. Kind of looked like she was either going to go for the mile there or come on here, and turns out she's doing both. But I just think Babouche, this is a race that Ger Lyons won with Lightning Pearl back in the early 2010s. That was I think she was his first Group 1 winner. So he's back for more. And yeah, I think Babouche could be exceptional. And yeah, I think she's going to take all the beating here.
Dease, why do you like Lake Victoria?
Oh, I like them both. This was the one I probably had the hardest time making the decision on. And the only I suppose they're both, I think they're both really good. They're both top notch. I thought Lake Victoria's win the last day was extremely good. It was 5 of them in a line, basically going to the line, and she ran away from them, came from the back. The only reason I'm going against Babouche, I think, is Babouche's serious speed, and I think the heavy ground might take a bit of that away from her. Lake Victoria will stay a bit further than her as well, so that was the only reason I went for Lake Victoria. She's a bigger price. I think the heavy ground will take a bit of the speed out of Babouche, and I think that gives Lake Victoria a chance.
Tom, as you've seen there, said Babouche will probably bolt up. Hi, Tom. Also says, I think Pedro has a chance of the Cambridgeshire place last year is a lot lower this year. Probably doesn't win, but Cliff horses have to be back just in case. That's a. I do it, but it's dangerous. And MI says, Rono, been fancied for a long time. Ground is the only concern. Improved loads this year and is working well. Good luck with Rono in the Cambridgeshire. Hello, Lee, Racing Lee, who joins us on the pod regularly to give his views. Good luck, lads. Go well. All the best to you and your podcast this weekend, Lee. That's the Cheveley Park done. Babouche and Lake Victoria. The middle park then. Donn and I are with Whistle Jacket and Deasy's laying Whistle Jacket. Right. Let's hear Deasy first and then we'll tear him apart, Donn.
Nice one. I just, at the price, I think he's well worth the lay because some of his form, like he just take the last race there, the pre-morning there against Rashabar. So Whistle Jacket had the absolute perfect run of the race, up the rail, just went straight, no messing. Rashabar had to come around the runners and fly down the outside, was only beaten 3/4 of a length. And what price would Rashabar be for this? I think he's 25s for the Dewhurst. I don't think he's a good horse, but I don't think he's top level. The same the last time. Like he's Whistle Jacket has thrown in a few stinkers. I mean, he was back to Ascot as if defeat was out of the question and was beaten. He beat Billboard Star again the next time. But like, what price would Billboard Star be in this race? It should be double figures. Heavy ground as well is going to affect things. Rides of Mars is a decent horse. Not too sure about the Godolphin horse, but you have to respect it. But I would rather probably lay him and have the field at evens rather than back him. So I'm going to lay him.
Okay. Whistle Jacket then 2.0, maybe a bit shorter than that now than when I looked yesterday. I guess, you know, he's £7 clear on ratings, Donn, from Shadow of Light and Ides of March. Shadow of Light I really like as a horse, and I think he was, you know, I put him up for the Mill Reef. He didn't run because of the ground. He might not run again because of heavy ground at Newmarket. That's what it is. They've got 22 non-runners today on day 2. But I thought he was unfortunate at York, given where he raced. But this, I don't know. I feel like Whistle Jacket off the back of that Newmarket run. He was unlucky at Ascot, Donn, and then when he won the July Stakes, I was really taken with him. Obviously, he bumped into Babouche last time or 2 starts ago at the Curragh, but came out and won a week later at Deauville. He's been kept on the go. I've been mega impressed with him so far this season. I think he's pretty standout best of these.
Yeah, like I was like Micheál, I was against him in the July Stakes actually, but he was very impressive that day. I love the attitude that he showed, the way he went to the line, and you know, as we were chatting about earlier on, finishing second to Babouche in the Phoenix Stakes, there was no disgrace in that, and we may get more of a clue towards that before the Middle Park in the Cheveley Park. He's got form on soft ground as well. He won the first Flyer Stakes at the Curragh back in early May on soft ground, and it was easy enough ground when he won the Pre-Morny last time. And yeah, he's had plenty of racing for a juvenile, but he seems to thrive on it. He's tough, which you're probably going to need, and he's got that form on the ground. Look, you know, you have to respect Ides of March for sure. We don't know how good he could be. He was good the last day at the Curragh. He won easily, and he could come forward again in the Round Tower Stakes. But obviously, it's significant. Ryan Moore is riding Whistle Jacket with Sean Levy and Ides of March. Shadow of Light, yeah, I know he probably didn't have the run of the rest in the gym crack, but Cold Hoof Luke had been beaten in the Vintage Stakes by Armora City, and Armora City, the other Godolphin horse, came over here and finished 4th in the National Stakes. So, yeah, I think Shadow of Light probably has to step forward again. The Watnan Racing horse, Defence Minister, he's interesting. He won impressively in easy ground at Haydock last time, so he could step forward. But I just think he'd have to step forward an awful lot to get up to Whistle Jacket's level. And yeah, I think again he's favoured, I know, but I think he's a deserving favourite. He's the one they have to beat.
Okay, different opinions on Whistle Jacket. We go back to the 115 now. We'll do the 115 and the 150, the Fillies Nursery, then the Royal Lodge. First of all, the Fillies Nursery, not for me this. DC, over to you first of all with Magic Love 8.0.
Yeah, Magic Love. had 3 runs, but didn't do much in the 3 and went off double figure prices. Last time at Thirsk on good to soft ground, won like a horse that had loads in hand off his original mark of 65. Quick enough turnaround here again. She's down the bottom of the weights. Goes thrown at the top there, has decent form and heavy ground as well. Again, the ground is kind of what guided me in this. Magic Love has a bit of good soft form. Harry Charlton is a good man to get him ready for a handicap, and there's been money for it. It was actually 9.0 last night when I was going through these, and there's been a bit more this morning. So I'll stick with him. Probably the smallest bet of the day, though.
It just wasn't for me. I understand that. How confident are you with Nana, Don?
No, tentative, Tom, really. Look, just going through the race, I thought she had plenty in her favour. She stayed on well last time to win at Yarmouth, and the first 3 finished nicely clear. I thought she won with a wee bit in hand. She does have a £6 hike for that up to mark of 78, but you would have expected something like that type of magnitude. She won her maiden easily on soft ground at Brighton. That was a nice performance. And at Newmarket on a penultimate run, she was up with a really fast pace, so I think you can allow her that. So if you take that run out, she's won 3 of her last 4 on that run at Newmarket, where she raced up with a very fast pace, and which is excusable. She was actually taken out of the valuable final yesterday at Goodwood because of soft ground, which is a bit of a worry. But she does have form on soft ground, so I don't know. Maybe they just had this race in mind for her as an alternative. Maybe they thought the ground would be a wee bit different, but she does have form on soft ground. She was into the race in good form. She's a progressive filly, and yeah, I think her draw in stall 11 as well towards the near side. That's not going to be a negative.
All right, moving on to the Royal Lodge. Don, you're sitting this out. Deasy and I have agreed with Puppet Master, so I'm not sure Luther will run, to be honest. Well, I feel like if it's going to be heavy ground, do you really want to run a horse like Luther here? I don't know. Feels like there's a lot at stake with that horse. But my starting point, Deasy, was Luther is a horse who they've tried to settle before, and we see how this track pays really well to speed. He's probably well drawn because they can come over towards the stand side from 7, but it's not often easy to get into it. And then if he's going to be held up on a rail, if they come over, he might have to come round them. I just didn't see an ideal setup for him. Whereas I thought Puppet Master, who's got form at the distance on testing ground, will just go and hit the rail and probably stay there. And I thought he was a fair price as well.
Yeah, and it takes a fair horse to win like he did at Galway. Like he went past horses and went away from them, going up the hill and going around the final corner or the final turn there. I thought it was really good. Yeah, bit of juice in the price as well there. He's what is he? 5.5. I think he's a nice horse. Yeah.
As Puppet Master, that is Newmarket done. The Beresford Stakes next. Again, this is a race that I'm sitting out, but you two are with Trinity College at 4.5. Don?
Yeah, look, it's a good race, the Beresford, Tom, as we know. It can be a good pointer to middle distance for next season. It's been won by some really good horses in the past, and Aidan O'Brien's won 8 of the last 10. Trinity College, yeah, look, he's a supremely well-bred colt by Dubawi out of Hermosa, the Jewel Guineas winner, and she's a sister to Hydrangea, the Matron Stakes winner, Philly Mare Stakes winner. So he's got a deep pedigree, and I just think he's a coming horse. He was well beaten on his first run. He ran way better than at Leopardstown next time when he finished 4th behind Hill Road, and then last time at Galway in a maiden, he was just so good. He got out in front. Wayne Lorden just kept it simple, got him going forward, and he just came right away from his rivals. He won by 12 lengths, which is no mean feat to win a maiden at Galway by 12 lengths, and there were 2 races run over the same course and distance, 2 other races on the day. He was faster than one of them. He was faster than Silky, about a second faster than Silky. And then he was almost as fast as Claire Quartz in the handicap. And he could have gone an awful lot faster. He was eased down by Wayne Lorden close home. The ground should be fine. It was yielding ground at Galway the last day. It's probably going to be softer at the Curragh. Depends on how much rain we get. But ground on the easy side should be good. And Hermosa, she won her maiden on soft ground at Galway as well. Look, Hot as Hell he's a very good horse. He's the Trigo Stakes winner, the Tyro Stakes winner, and he finished second behind Henri Matisse in the Futurity last time. So he's the standard setter. But I think Trinity College, with his pedigree and his profile, and the ease with which he won last time, and the fact that he should be able to cope with easy ground, I think he's a big danger to have as well.
What do you want to add, Dees?
Not much really, Don. Is it fairly well covered? I thought Hermosa was an unbelievable filly when she was going. And again, look, it's just the style of his win at Galway. He won it on softest ground, ran away from them. I think he could be really good. Don has a well covered there. I think I could see him going off favourite for this.
Okay, that's the Beresford. Rather frighteningly, back at Haydock now. So 2 to go at Haydock. We've got the 130 and the 315. We all agree with Earls. I mean, I don't know how the hell this has happened. 10 runners over a mile. Whiskey Pete, 4.5 atop the betting. But Earls is there for Gavin Cromwell and Luke Morris. I guess we're all thinking Haydock testing ground tick, Dees, right? Irish Raider.
Yeah, so he did. He won a very similar race there at the start of the season in April. Came off the Haydock soft ground, running off 87, won by over a length. I'd say he'll just do the exact same thing again. Gavin Cromwell is the serious operator.
Donn?
Yeah, in fairness, you two were in first before me. I thought I'd found one with Earls, and then I saw that two Earls in front of me. Yeah, look, what as Micheál said there, like he ran in the two big handicaps, big kind of mile 7 furlong handicaps at Galway. He had no luck in running in the Colin Quinn mile, and it was a similar story in the Ahanora handicap over 7 furlongs when he was well back in the field. He had to wait. Didn't bring McManagan running that day. He just had to wait for a gap, and it often happens at Galway on the run around the home turn. You know that hill up around the home turn. You need momentum. He didn't have it. Once he got out, he was able to generate momentum, and he actually finished off his race well. There is a suspicion he's a wee bit better over 7 furlongs than over a mile, and it was over 7 that he won his race at Haydock earlier this season. But he finished off his race really well at the Curragh in the 1 mile handicap that Crystal Black won. Now, obviously, a mile is way too short for Crystal Black. He won the Duke of Edinburgh over 1.5 miles at Royal Ascot. But Earls stayed on strongly that day on heavy ground. Heavy ground is key, or softer heavy ground is key to him. And also the fact that he has really good form on soft ground at Haydock. For me, that's important when you're encountering soft ground, to have form on soft ground at the track. So yeah, I think I can see him just stalking in behind. Hopefully there'll be a good fast pace that he can aim at. And yeah, I can see him finishing off his race well again and going close to winning.
Incidentally, MI says Whiskey Pete wins this back to a mile on soft after running well and not getting home over 10 furlongs last time. Good luck with Whiskey Pete. I don't want to add anything to Earls other than he's another one to come out of that Mexicali Rose race, but and was held up. Didn't really have much chance on that occasion. But soft ground back at Haydock off £2 higher. I thought was pretty obvious case. The 315 is a 5 furlong handicap. Who have we gone for here? 3 different horses. Very good. Well, I'll kick off for Hyper Focus. I was looking for a horse that wanted a bit of dig in the ground, well treated on old form, and a previous course winner as well. I thought it was a pretty good run behind Vintage Clarets last time when trying to get involved from the rear. The run 2 starts to go at Haydock over this course and distance was disappointing, but that was it's just a better race. And he does seem to want some dig in the ground now. He's 10, but I thought he was a fair price. He's slightly shorter than he was when I first looked at the race. There was double figures knocking around, but still, I'll take 8.0 for Hyper Focus. Deasy.
Yeah, I've gone for Blue Storm. Ran very well at the start of the season. Finished second in what race is it again? Palace of Holyrood House Stakes at Ascot, and was given a break and came out there for the Beverly Bullet there a few weeks ago. I think that was probably just a step too far at this stage. It was a listed race off level weights, finished down the field. But this is probably calmer waters. Not too sure about the ground. He's by Blue Point. I think Blue Point was okay and soft, heavy ground. Big price, 10.0. I'll back at win place.
All right. That's Hyper Focus, Blue Storm, and then just you, Donn, 7.0.
Yeah, Gerbat. Similar to Hyper Focus, I suppose. He's got good form at Haydock. He's run there twice. He beat American Affair there at the beginning of August, and then last time he went back to Haydock. That was his first run at Haydock. He went back there last time and finished second behind Chagrin, with American Affair behind him in third. He stayed on well. He was only just beaten by Chagrin at the end. American Affair then came out and won the Portland, so enhanced that form. He's got good form on soft ground as well. He finished second at Chester on soft ground in May last year. He won at Musselburgh on easy ground back in the beginning of last season. So he comes into the race in good form. He goes on the ground. He's got good form at the track as well. And yeah, I can see him running well.
Okay. Time for the Matchbook Zero long shot now. Matchbook Zero reminder goes live an hour before the race that you are looking at. So head there an hour before each race, and you're most likely to be getting best odds because the Matchbook is in exchange. So versus the sportsbook, that's likely anyway. Then with Matchbook Zero, there's zero margin and zero commissions. You can have a win bet at those enhanced prices. I'm going with Majestic in the Cambridgeshire. Donn?
Paddy the Squire in the Cambridgeshire.
Deasy?
Go for Blue Storm in the 315 at Haydock.
Best lays, just one from you, DC. You can remake that case for Whistle Jacket in the Juddmonte Middle Park.
Just Whistle Jacket. Look, he's a sharp price. He's going to run on heavy ground. I would rather be back in the field at even money than rather back in Whistle Jacket. So that was it.
Okay, and you can see you've got Pod 50 as far as the offer going. You get £50 in free bets when you bet 50. You need to enter the bonus code POD50 to do that. T's and C's are on the website, so make sure you check those out, but well worth taking advantage of. Don't forget Matchbook Insights as well. Will be live for you off the back of this with our selections for all the races that we've gone for. And a reminder of our best bets then. I am with Whistle Jacket in the feature for the boys at Newmarket, the Grade 1 Middle Park. Donn?
Yeah, I've gone for Earls. I think the case for Earls is quite strong. Ground, trip, and distance as well. And yeah, you've made the case as well, but I think he's overpriced.
DC?
Trinity College in the Brothersford Stakes at the Curragh.
There you go. Good luck, everyone. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. We will be back with you soon enough going into next week. And we're also, or I'm going to get on the phone to our producer and try and arrange a jump racing season preview, because ultimately that's what we all love, right, Dees?
Oh yeah, can't wait. Even I was even enjoying reading all the giving out and the whinging about the Cheltenham changes there yesterday. I was like, it's back soon. Brilliant.
It is. It's not far away. Good. We'll change nothing though. We'll stay as we are, and hopefully get a pod like that around about Champions Day. It's when we tend to do it. So that's what we'll hopefully do. But first and foremost, hope we found you lots of winners this weekend. Bye bye.